There you are. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you're watching. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Wrapping presents and waiting for the live. Hello, Granny M. Hi, Granny M. Good to see you aboard. Who else was logging in here? Oh, Jake says he's so excited. Yeah, Jake Baliff will be coming up in a few minutes. He was such a hit the last time we had him on that I decided I'd get him back on to show some of his collection, some of his rare items and so forth. And he's also going to be picking his top 5 albums as well. Hiya, Doug. Arkansas, howdy. Arkansas Dave, yeah, you're going to come on the show and tell your story, I believe. So we've got to set that up. Ruth, hi, Ruth. King. Good to see you. I don't think you were on last week, King. I missed you. Mark Hutchins, Ryan Davis, everybody coming in on the stream. That's great. A couple of things. I'll just wait for a few more people to come on because I have a little bit of news for you. Alfred Kloss in Canada. Okay. Let's see who else we got. Vincenzo, hi. How are you doing? Part of our Sunday night club. Sonic Fan 2007. I am new to this channel. Well, let me tell you, you are very, very welcome. Very welcome. And if anybody else, hi, John. How are you doing? Anybody else wants to say hi? Shreveport. Hi, Joseph. There's Jan M. Don't forget, coming up later on, we have the Elvis Fan of the Week quiz. And as I remember, it is 3-2 to the ladies. So can the girls stretch it to 4-2, or can the boys catch up and equalize and make it 3-3? Okay. How is the weather here? It's been raining all day. There's JC22. JC, she won the quiz last week. Hi, Mary. Hi, Chris R. How are you doing? Somebody says they picked up 100 Elvis items for £20. Wow. That's pretty good, Ghost Man. I must admit, over 100 items for £20 is fairly good. Okay, I'm going to tell you that this afternoon, a couple of hours ago, I completed an interview with somebody who I would class as fairly close to Elvis. It's a female, and she was that close that she even saw him just a couple of months before he died, and he shared his feelings and some of his upcoming plans with her. So that was completed a couple of hours ago, and what I'll be doing is I'll be post-production on that, and I will be uploading that to the YouTube channel and the podcast channel sometime in the next couple of days, early next week anyway, so watch out for that. It's been raining in Hull. Yeah, I think it's been raining all over England and Ireland today. It's been shocking. When Jake comes on, I'm calling him Josh, but his name is Jake. When Jake comes on, if you want to ask questions as we go along, he says he will answer questions. I'll put them up on the screen for him, and he can answer those questions. We can do a bit of a Q&A with him as well. There's Leanne Penrod. She was a winner as well of the quiz a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, so you can actually put questions in for Jake, and he'll answer them if he can. I'm sure he can, because he's a bit of an encyclopedia when it comes to Elvis. That's for sure. There's not much that Jake doesn't know. I was very impressed the last time. Hi, George. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Hi, Carol from Arizona. Snow where I live. Wow, snow in Arizona. Crikey. Not good. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention is we also now have a new line of merchandise. So there is Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, and I've also launched a Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel mug as well, because people were asking, is there any Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel merch? Well, there is now. So if you want to visit the YouTube channel, you can do that. If you want to support the channel, you can get yourself a mug or a shirt or whatever, and it will help the channel. And also, if you want to, as we go along, if you want to put in super chats as well by clicking on the dollar sign, yeah, it makes your comment more visible, and we can ask Jake. Why do I keep calling him Josh? I'm going to have to apologize to him when he comes on. Jake can answer the question, and we can see it more visible. Can you see my comments? Yes, I can, Sandro. I can see all comments. Yeah. So, as I said, we were very impressed with Jake last time he was on, and so much so that I wanted to get him back, and he's going to show some of his gems, and he's also going to show 5 of his top albums, and he probably answer some of your questions as well. So here we go. Hi, Jake.
Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Jake, I keep calling you Josh this evening for some reason. I have no idea why. I think I must be tired, I think.
Yeah, it's morning over here, so it's kind of time different.
What time is it with you?
11:30.
Oh, yeah. 11:30 on a Sunday, though. That's still early, isn't it?
Yeah.
As I was saying, we were that impressed with you the last time you were on that we thought we'd call you back and give you a little bit more airtime. And if anybody wants to throw questions at Jake while he's on, he can answer those. I'll put them up on the screen for him. So over to you, my man. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'd just like to say it's an honor to be here. It's really fun to do this. And I guess I could show some stuff in my collection that I have. So first of all, this I got in Memphis. I just it's not my whole collection because my whole collection is in my room. So I couldn't really drag it all out here and show everything, but I did kind of pick some of my top, favorite things. This is a German fan magazine. I got this at Marlowe's in Memphis. So where you want to go for all your Elvis needs, call 901-949-1977 at the Elvis Presley Boulevard Pawn Shop. And you can see it's all in German, as you see there. So I can't read it, but it's still cool to look at. And you can got different pictures in here. A lot of rare shots, too, of Elvis in the Army. And then my favorite part of this book is you got a centerfold.
Oh, yeah.
From Elvis and Girl Happy.
Yeah.
And I was like this, and I was thinking about taking it out, but I thought, it's kind of part of the book, and it's got pretty much all of his songs. And this came out in 79, so this is really cool. And I thought it was strange because it's a German fan club book, but they got an American flag. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this next thing I also got at the Elvis Presley Boulevard Pawn Shop. This came out in 78. That's a good shot. And you can see even Elvis is wearing, it looks like the sundial belt under his tracksuit, as you can see there. But this has got a bunch of shots from 75, 76, and 77. Like that shot, too. It's one of my favorite suits, the blue rainbow on the, see the glare. And, but here's where a mistake happened. This says that this picture is from, February 77. It's actually from July of 75 because in 77, Elvis didn't wear the Indian suit with that belt. He also didn't wear the Maltese cross necklace in 77, and he didn't wear the choker necklace in 77. So they kind of got it a little bit wrong there. But
yeah, you see what I mean? Jake is like an encyclopedia. Only Jake would know things like that. That's for sure.
And it's even cool because I like this shot. This is from April of 77. You can see there's Band-Aids on Elvis's fingers. And you look at like when Elvis came on stage in the 70s, he only really wore the TCB ring because girls would try to yank him off and it would cut his fingers. So really I was watching pretty much like as much footage as I could from 77, and he's not wearing too much ring. So it's really crazy. And then here's a picture, just some more really good shots. I mean, we got a lot of good shots in here. I always like looking at the pictures, and it came out in 1978. But what's cool about it is you got some more shots from 76, Minnesota, and then that's the last show, Indiana. And then this has an order form where you can ask for the set, and you can actually get a whole big set from a bunch of different pictures of Elvis wearing jumpsuits. Like they got the Chinese Dragon, they got the Black Phoenix, they got the V-neck suit, and then here's a shot from Vegas 76. And then this is probably my favorite page in the book because it shows Elvis's last picture on stage. I want to do this one justice because this is just a fantastic photo. And then this is Elvis's Lisa Marie taking off from the Indianapolis airport. So really cool. And I always like this shot because it's so good because you can see how Elvis is wearing the sundial belt under his tracksuit. So I thought
what's the book? I can't remember what the book is he's holding.
It's called Elvis Softly as I Leave You.
No, you know the picture of him going up the stairs to the plane. He's holding a book in his hand. Is it easy to say? Is it The Prophet?
It could be The Prophet. It looks like it does say The Prophet on it. It's blue. It's hard to tell though because the text is really small.
Yeah.
On the book.
There's another shot of Elvis holding a book when he's boarding the Lisa Marie, and it's The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Not The Exorcist. The Omen. The Omen.
Yeah, The Omen from I believe that picture is 76.
Yeah, that would be about right.
He's wearing his kind of like his turquoise. It's like his turquoise tracksuit almost. It was different from the DEA tracksuit. It was like a turquoise. So I always like to see just little things that Elvis does, and it's like that doesn't it's like they're not meant to be there, but it shows up anyway. And then this book is by Paul Lichter. I got this again at the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop. And here's the author Paul Lichter on the. I believe that's your guys' right. And they have a lot of good shots of Elvis in the 50s here. Paul Lichter was a big Elvis fan. A lot of kind of good candid shots. That's a really good shot.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
And we got some more here. Like that one, too. And then Uncle Milty.
Oh, Uncle Milty, yeah. Ruth says that in 76, when I met him, he had the Omen in his hand. Wow, Ruth, you actually met him. Wow, brilliant.
I was lucky, man. You're lucky, Ruth. And then
there's a question here for you, Jake.
Yeah.
What does it say there? Can you see that?
Jake question. I saw a pic of a yellow outfit last night. I have not ever seen it. Do you know when he wore it? I'd have to probably see the picture. I know he wore this gold puffy sleeve shirt in 1970, sometimes when he went to the Memphian.
I have seen a photograph of a yellow jumpsuit, and it's obviously Photoshop. Maybe that's the one she's thinking of.
Yeah,
for example, I don't know any yellow jumpsuits he wore. Like
the blue paisley suit that was made for his August '77 tour. There's Photoshop pictures of him wearing it, but he never got to wear it. And it's really like a plain jumpsuit, but it was made for that August tour. But obviously, we kind of know what happened. But and then this is from backstage when he got the polio vaccine. So. At Sullivan's show, then you got more pictures. I always loved his Martin guitar. This guitar is actually at Sun right now. So
yeah,
it's really cool. And there's just a lot of kind of really good shots in here. And
yeah, I think so as well, Chris. Chris says she thinks that was Photoshopped. I think so as well. Yeah.
Elvis getting his height measured. He doesn't look too happy there.
No, he doesn't.
And this has got to be one of my favorite suits of all time, the Pharaoh suit. It's on the cover of the Today album. Yeah. You got a shot from Elvis on tour. And then he's wearing, obviously, this from Aloha. And then this, I believe this picture right here is from Atlanta, 73, when he's wearing the Thunderbird suit. And then this is a really good shot on the very back. This is Jackie Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Elvis paid for Jackie Wilson's hospital bill. I believe it was in 75. He had a stroke on stage. But because you can see Elvis is wearing the Maltese cross necklace. But what's cool about this is Elvis is looking pretty casual here. compared to normally what he wears, and it's kind of cool to see him wearing casual stuff, like especially in the '70s. So I always thought this shot was really cool.
Yeah, I always thought his hair looked a bit odd in that shot as well. I don't know. It's almost like Jackie's there, isn't it? I suppose it was
Yeah,
the style of the day, I suppose.
yeah. It's crazy though to think that how like there's a decade for everybody when it comes to Elvis. I mean, it's like it's crazy. Like there's something for everybody when it comes to Elvis.
Yeah.
And then this is small, but this is a fan club booklet, and this is from Great Britain. It's got some cool shots in here. I love that suit. That's the Planet suit they wore in '73. Really rare.
Yeah.
Suit. You can wear it too often. And another good shot from '70. The fringe suit. This is actually the winged fringe suit. So. And advertisements, just sort of like a fan club booklet that they would release pretty much like every year. Then you got a little small like text from Marion J., who was Elvis's nurse. And you can see you got another shot of 1970. Some more advertisements, stuff like that. Little tiny things in here. And then you got a shot of Aloha. This is actually when I went to Graceland. This was one of the first things I got because we got there like really late one night, and then we went the next day, and I got this. I picked it up, so it was good to find.
Some great stuff there. Great stuff there.
Now, I mean, I guess I could show my favorite albums if you want me to.
Yeah, brilliant. So is this your this is going to be your top 5? Yeah.
Yeah, I have about 10 albums sitting here. 5 of them are my favorite, and then but I have 94 Elvis records right now, but I couldn't bring them all out because it's like, there's only room for so much. But I got to say, this has got to be my favorite album of all time from Elvis in Memphis. I just love it so much. There's just something about it. I can just like, whenever I listen to it, I can feel like Elvis's soul. And you can see. But what's awesome about this is it not only is from Elvis in Memphis, but it is a London pressing, and also it is in mono. And if you know Elvis, you know that this was not pressed in the United States in mono. It was pressed in stereo. A lot of people prefer mono because it's more fuller, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
But I found this on Discogs for $5. I ordered it, and it came to the house, and I was like, no way, it's in mono. It's a London pressing, and it just sounds fantastic. It sounds more fuller than a stereo recording, but it's just, oh my God, it's my favorite album of all time.
John Rowley says it's his best, actually. He thinks it's his best.
Like Any Day Now has got to be one of my favorites.
Now you're talking. Yeah, especially the middle part when he hits the falsetto parts. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. True Love Travels on a Gravel Road is always a good song. Long Black Limousine sometimes makes me want to cry. And then Only the Strong Survive kind of lifts me up, because it's a great song. Because I love how he gets into that raspy type of voice right there.
Yeah. Sandro says, ask Jake if he knows that Elvis saw Star Wars in 1977 with Lisa Marie and Ginger.
Well, he went to the Memphian in '77. I believe it was in August, right before he passed away. Lisa was, I think, 9. Yeah, about 9. And he wanted to see Star Wars, but he couldn't get his hands on a copy, so they watched The Spy Who Loved Me instead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think he watched The Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah.
And he said, and I read somewhere, I believe it might have been Sam Thompson, that it was his favorite James Bond movie. So it's a good movie too. I watch it. And my second favorite album has got to be How Great Thou Art. This is a 1967 original, and it is on stereo Dynagroove, which is really nice. And what's also good about this is because in 1960, Elvis recorded Crying in the Chapel, and it was thrown away by RCA for some dumb reason. And it ended up getting released as a single in 1966, became a #1 hit, and then was put on here as like a bonus song and exceed by special, like the advertisements. And but I just love his gospel. You know what I mean? His gospel is just it's breathtaking. And I really like Run On because it's like a blues gospel number. He really it's a gospel song, but it's more like a bluesy mix too. And In the Garden, beautiful song, How Great Thou Art. I mean, Where No One Stands Alone. It's just, I just love this album. And then my third favorite album, this might surprise you, but it's Clam Bake. Uh,
Yeah, now why is that? Is that because of Guitar Man, even though it wasn't in the movie?
yeah, well, it's because of Guitar Man and Big Boss Man, and
Yeah.
also Singing Tree. A very beautiful song. See, I got the record in the back, but I guess I'll show the
Yeah,
back.
well, Elvis sings harmony with himself on that, doesn't he? On Singing Tree, he overdubbed the harmony vocal.
Yeah, and see the back. But I do love. It's just there's something about it. My mom was asking me the night before. She's like, well, "Why do you like Clambake so much? Why is that your third favorite album? That's really weird." I said, "Well, he sounds so good in it, and it's like he sounds good in everything. But there's just like Clambake, Who Needs Money is funny. House That Has Everything, You Don't Know Me, The Girl I Never Loved are all like beautiful songs, and then Guitar Man, How Can You Lose What You Never Had? But my favorite song on this album is either You Don't Know Me or Singing Tree. I just love Singing Tree. There's something, and this album has really grown on me through the years. Like I would listen to it when I was like, little and stuff, and I kind of enjoyed it, but it really shot up there because I've really been listening to it a lot lately. It's a great album.
Yeah, well, Rob Jones has just reminded me actually that when he was on a couple of weeks ago, he said that Promised Land was his favorite, and I remember telling him then that surprised me, But then again, it's each to his own. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody can't like Elvis in Memphis. I mean, it is a great album, but not everybody can like it. It can't be their favorite album. So yeah, I mean, Clambake, yeah, good
Yeah,
choice, good choice.
like for Elvis, there's like something for everybody. Like I said, like there's
Yeah.
a decade for everybody. There's a song for everybody. There's an album for. It's just crazy. There's a jumpsuit for everybody. It's like crazy because Elvis was like a whole array of like different things. It's crazy how much he gave us, And as Elvis fans, we're kind of a little bit spoiled since so much stuff he gave us and that we can enjoy. And I think that's why his music will live on forever. Because I mean, he put out 710 master recordings, but that doesn't count the songs that weren't master recordings, and it doesn't count the songs, how much songs that he did live. You know what I mean? And like all those different versions of like Polka Salad Annie, for example, or Wonder of You, whatever. And it's just crazy because like his music will never die. So.
Yeah, we got a super chat here. Thanks very much, Intel Wild. Maybe you got some information on that, Jake. Any news on the 72 Hampton concert to be released?
I'm just stumped like everybody else. It's just I hope they release for 50th anniversary. I know they released like some shows from That's the Way It Is on this FTD box set, but it's really hard to get because they don't press FTDs that much, and they're super expensive. But like I said, I hope like RCA Legacy releases like something like I would be fine with like a 4 DVD set that features each show, and then like a 4 DVD 4 CD set that features the all 4 shows filmed, and then those 4 shows also on CD, because it's like literally pretty much all those shows are just available like on bootlegs. They still haven't really been officially released. So.
Yeah, they need to get their act together for 2022 to do something for Elvis on tour. They really do need to do something. I know it's all sort of red tape and different companies and everything like that, but they do need to get themselves sorted because it'll be an opportunity. It'll be an opportunity missed if they don't.
Yeah, because there's so much like people that have either went to those shows or would like to see footage from those shows, and these people are like dying and they'll never get to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, none of us are here forever. I hope something happens before I croak it anyway. There's another one there for you, I think. Which Elvis friend had a horse in Graceland called Star Trek?
Um, Could have been Lamar Fike, if I remember right. I don't know if it was really necessarily. I thought it was named just Star. I don't think it was. I mean, it could have been named Star Trek, but I know of like Bear, Domino, Rising Sun.
Yeah, but I'm not too sure about Star Trek, I must admit.
I do know there was a horse at Graceland that was named Star. I do know that, and I believe it was like a black and white horse. But yeah, I don't think there was one named Star Trek. But anyway, and then my 4th favorite album of all time has got to be A Date with Elvis. This is my first favorite or my first pressing of this album, because it doesn't have the song listings on the front. And it does have the original insert for it, which is really cool. And let me take it out here to show you the calendar on the back. And it's funny because this date is wrong on the back. It actually says Elvis is supposed to come out of the Army on March 24th, but he actually came out of the Army on March 3rd. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then this is really good. My mom got me this for my birthday, and oh my God, it's fantastic. You can see there's the and it's got little like text under each picture. And this was pretty much put out by the Colonel. This and for LP fans only, because of Elvis being in the Army, they really didn't have any sort of people that could or any sort of songs at that time that they could release. It was pretty much just trying to release stuff that had never been on LP because Elvis said, I'm not going to record anything in the Army. So these 2 albums were released, and they're great albums as well. So, and then that's my 4th favorite album of all time. My 5th favorite album, got to be On Stage. I love this album. I know FTD put out an album. I believe they put out On Stage, and then they put out Off On Stage, and that has the full show. And a lot of this was kind of put together as like trying to be like a full show, but it's not, because you can see how it ends with Let It Be Me when he actually ended with Cannot Fall in Love, which was crazy. Is that at this time they had arranged CC Rider as the first song, and at this time he was doing That's All Right Mama as his first song, or Blue Suede Shoes, depending on what show. And I truly believe that CC Rider, because they put CC Rider as the first song on the album. So I truly believe when Elvis heard this album that he thought, that's probably might be a good song to open with. You know what I mean? And it's just it's crazy to think that in about 1.5 years he would be doing CC Rider as his opener till.
Yeah. Maybe he liked it as an opener. I think, is there 1 or 2 tracks on there that actually come from an earlier engagement, 1969? Did Runaway come from August 69?
I know he did do Runaway in 69.
And there's another one as well, which I can't think of at the moment. I think there's 2 tracks on there that came out or was used from 1969.
It might be Yesterday. It could be.
Yeah.
Because he did Hey Jude and Yesterday a lot in 1969. He did it a lot on stage. But like The Wonder of You, Sweet Caroline, Release Me, songs like that were actually from the February 70 engagement. But what's cool about this album is because when you watch That's the Way It Is, a special edition, and they're in the studio, they're singing Crying Time, which is a Ray Charles song. You can see, in my opinion, Elvis did it better than Ray Charles. I'm just going to say that. But if you look up on the shelf, there's actually this album sitting up here, and it's weird because there's like the front cover sitting up here, and then there's like the back cover sitting up there. And if you look above the closet, you can see the album. So I thought it was really cool because I'm sure Elvis was looking at it and thinking, because that was his most recent album at the time.
King says he Googled the names, and Star Trek was a name given. Well, there you are. So that's something new.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of horse it was, because I know there was one named Star.
Somebody else is saying Yesterday and Runaway from 1969. So we were kind of right. You said Yesterday and I said Runaway, I think, didn't I? Or Walk a Mile in My Shoes. I don't know. But I kind of had it in the back of my head that they weren't all from February anyway. Yeah,
Walking a Mile in My Shoes was from 1970. I know that because I don't think he did it in 69, but anyway. And then, I think he did it a few times, but I know that because I've heard the FTD on it, and it's pretty much the same Runaway. And then this is a bootleg. This is one of my rarest ones.
Hey, now you're talking bootlegs. Hey.
This is Elvis, Scotty, and Bill. This is on. It says Sun, but it's not from Sun. I believe it's a Denmark pressing. It's from Charlie Records International, APS, Copenhagen, Denmark. And what's crazy about this was when I got this, I thought it was just an interview, and but it wasn't. It had Biff Cawley interviewing, and then it had Good Rockin' Tonight, Baby Let's Play House, Boom in Kentucky, I Got a Woman, and That's All Right Mama. And I thought to myself, well, I already kind of have all those songs, but then I put it on, and they're actually live recordings from the Hayride. So I was like, no way. And it's just crazy to think that like those are actually like live recordings. It's like, because this came out in '83, so at that time, even CDs weren't that popular. So it's kind of crazy. And then they have an Elvis interview, and then on side 2, Scotty Moore talks about pretty much how they started in '54, and in 1955 he talks about how the first pink Cadillac ended up catching on fire. So it was really cool.
Is that called Elvis the First Year?
Yeah, Elvis, Scotty, and Bill the first year, and I believe there was another cover for it, and it's red.
Yeah, well, mine is kind of a brownie red one.
Yeah,
almost like a wallpapery sort of brownie color.
Yeah, and I also saw that it was once sold at Tower Records, so I thought that was pretty cool. So, and then this, I might have to take this one out. This is Elvis's first album. This is a 1956 pressing, and it is in German. And it even has the stamp from the store it was sold at, because at this time they did not have shrink wrap on the record. So you can see, sold for $2.50 brand new. And this is a rare German pressing because it is not on the regular colored RCA label at the time. It is on the, it's on the black and white import label. And in the dead wax, it actually, I don't know if it'll show up, but it's printed like right up here. It says, like, stamped, it says manufacturer. This camera is so hard to do. It says manufacturer. But it sounds fantastic. And surprisingly, from 1956, it's beautiful. And it's his first LP album, so it's like, it's a classic, it has all the I mean, it's got Blue Suede Shoes, and it's got 6 Sun tracks as well. And like, one of my favorites is probably I'm Counting on You, because it's just a slow, it's just a great album, you know what I mean? And then this is Elvis's second album. This is a original press as well. And it's weird because on the original press they printed tons of different albums. They printed like 3 sets of different albums. And mine has albums from Mario Lanza, who's one of Elvis's favorite singers, Glenn Miller, Perez Parado, if I'm saying that right. It's got America's Face. It's just a bunch of different albums on the back. And they printed another one where they had different albums too. So I was like, this is an original too. And I found this like just hiding in an antique store, like it was in a corner. It was like $3. I was like, geez.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
It's crazy some of the types of finds that I get, and they're like $3. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How could you sell it for that cheap? And then this is Promised Land, and this is
I hope Rob is watching.
Yeah,
are you watching, Rob?
And this is in the shrink wrap. Oops, I don't know if it'll show up, and it is a tan label, so that means it was pressed in or no, this is actually an orange label, so it's pressed, I believe it's a Hollywood pressing. And this is a good album as well, so I'd show this. And then the next one, this is Today. He's wearing my favorite suit. This suit is the Pharaoh suit. And I believe this shot was from, I believe it was Atlanta as well, early July, I believe. And this is also...
Do you know what I always think is strange is they put Elvis live on stage shot on a studio album, and they did that all the way through the 70s.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange too, because like you look at, and these covers are very similar, as you can see.
Yeah,
you got the same type of style, and this obviously Promised Land came out in early '75. It's so off, and then this one came in kind of later '75, like mid. It's just weird. This camera's like facing like backwards. But this is like a great one. I love TRUBLE. I love like when the album starts off with TRUBLE, and oh my god, it's fantastic. And this next album that I'd like to show, this is I think the last album I'm going to show. This is Girl Happy, and it's 1965 original. And you might be saying, well, what's so rare about that? Well, it's a mono pressing, but also, God, I hope this shows up. It is a, let's see if I can see this here. It's printed on there. It says "Not for Sale" promo, and this is one of the earlier promos.
Wow.
Does it show up? It's like in red. Hope it shows up. It's like very faint, but it's pressed like around. It's pressed like right through, like right here, and it says
Yeah, we can just make it out. Yeah.
yeah, it says not for sale promo. And this is an earlier promo because I know in the 70s and 80s they did a lot of promos, but this is a promo from 1965, and it's crazy because promos at the time were used as like record store displays and stuff like that, and they weren't ever to be sold, ever, to the public. But then like somebody that worked there would probably take it home, and then it ends up in my hand. So it's like, but I just love Elvis. You know what I mean? But
yeah, we can tell. We can tell that.
But what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the Today album is one of my favorites because he also does Pieces of My Life and I Can Help, and he did those live, like very few. He did Pieces of My Life live once in Asheville, and then Shake a Hand he did live once in Asheville as well. And Shake a Hand is it's a beautiful song. I just love the song, and it's crazy because it's like he should have done more of those live. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like, because for example, like this brings me on to another topic. My good buddy John Daly at the Elvis Presley Boulevard Pawn Shop was interviewing Joe Macheo, and he asked him. He said, "Why didn't Elvis do like I, John, or Reach Out to Jesus, live?" And he goes, "Well, because really Colonel Parker really wouldn't let him." And I would love to heard, like, I know he did I, John live, I believe in 1977. But Reach Out to Jesus he did not do live. I know he did like Bosom of Abraham. In 77, he did a few gospel songs that were kind of like from previous years. But what's crazy is I heard from a rumor that Elvis was planning a gospel tour with the Stamps in 77. He was planning on just taking the Stamps and a few band members and just doing a full gospel tour. But it's just crazy because it's like, I feel like Elvis, and I know this might be a little bit controversial, but I feel like Colonel Parker should have just told Elvis, "Hey, do whatever you want and I'll figure it out for you," instead of "you do what I say." You know what I mean? Because Elvis, it should have been where Colonel Parker was working for Elvis, not Elvis was working for Colonel Parker. So
I agree 100%. Now, it's funny you should say about that gospel tour that he was planning. That was confirmed by the interview that I did a couple of hours ago by the person I spoke to. So that's very interesting. So, anybody that listens to that interview that I'm going to load up in a couple of days' time will hear the same as what Jake's just said.
And it's crazy because it's like, I feel that, if he would have ever just, it's just sad because he was such a good person and he's such a loyal person, and people knew how generous he was, and they took advantage of it instead of being his friend. And I feel like there's only a few people that really cared about him, and it's just, it's unfortunate because like I would have loved to seen how Elvis progressed into the 80s and the 90s, and what he would have done, and it's really unfortunate.
Joseph is just asking there, are we taking questions? Yes, there'll be an Elvis quiz coming up in a few minutes after Jake's finished. Any more to show us, Jake?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it out of the pile. I have tons of stuff in there. I mean, I guess I could pull out some stuff, but I wouldn't want to waste your all's time. So
you're not wasting our time. I'll tell you what, we can get you back on, and you can do volume 2. You can do another. You can do another top 5 top albums. Well, I know it's hard to do another 5, but you could do another 5 albums and talk about them.
God, it's hard to pick a top 30.
Yeah, yeah. Top 30 is right. And there'd still be plenty left. Okay. Yep. Right. Any more questions for Jake? Jake says, "Keep going, Jake." Rob says that. Okay. He's also not wasting our time at all, Joseph says. Okay. Yeah, Chris says do a top 30. There you go. So that's your next that's your next project. Don't forget, everybody, Jake actually has his own YouTube channel called Everything Elvis. And there's some real good gems on there. He was loading up a few more there over the weekend. So don't forget to check that out. What's this here? Somebody says Jake had a good live chat on his channel recently. Yeah, that was a couple of days ago, wasn't it? I think, Jake.
I believe like last week, I think.
And you had the guest on.
Yeah, Steve. Steve, he knows a buddy of mine named Ed from the King's Court. He's from, I think, New York. So
yeah. The King's Court. The King's Court is a great channel as well.
There's a question here from Arkansas. David says, please ask Jake what FTD means. FTD is a fan club label that I believe came out in 1999. It's short for Follow That Dream, or they also call themselves Flaming Star. And what they do is they release rare Elvis stuff. They release rare Elvis concerts. No footage, hopefully one day. Concerts, outtakes, movie sessions, just pretty much rare stuff, radio spots, just tons of stuff they release on CD, vinyl, and you can pretty much find any FTD on YouTube, because FTDs are really expensive, but they're really worth it because, it's crazy because all this stuff is like finally starting to be released, you know what I mean? Because it should have been released before that. May I ask how old? I'm 15 years old. I just turned 15 a month ago.
Yeah, there you go. And he knows an awful lot about Elvis, that's for sure. Jackie says, you're awesome, Jake. Jack? No, it's not Jack, it's Jake. Okay.
Am I doing the Ultimate in Memphis? The Ultimate Tribute Contest? When I turn 18, probably, yeah. But we're planning on going back to Graceland for Elvis Week, because we went in June. But we're thinking about going for Elvis Week, and that would be really awesome because I just love Graceland.
Yeah, I just hope things get back to normal soon, so people can start enjoying Graceland again. Because I know there's people champing at the bit to go to Graceland. You've been once, haven't you? But you're going to go back a second time.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like this year for Elvis Week, they didn't even shut down Elvis Presley Boulevard because they had to restrict it. But what's crazy is it should have been, like, it's just, I just hope, that when the vaccine comes out, people get it and we can all be back in Memphis and we can all go and we can just put it behind us. Because, like, for example, like when Elvis got the polio vaccine, there's actually a radio spot and that he did for the Ed Sullivan Show. And it's just, it's like, it's just, I think people should take it so we can all go back to Memphis and enjoy Elvis.
Yeah. Arkansas Dave says, Jake, do you like the May 77 version or the Aloha one?
Oh, that's tough. I also like the studio version too. But Aloha the Aloha version, he, was, on fire. And in 77, he was on fire too. And I really liked in 77, what I preferred is when he just leans back and he just like blows the roof off the building.
Okay. Okay, we don't need that. I'll just get rid of that. Okay, so that's great. Thanks for showing us those gems and a couple of surprises too. I was quite surprised when you said Clambake was one in your top 5.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, as I said earlier, each to his own. I can see one of the the reasons why you're saying Clambake. It definitely wasn't like a Paradise Hawaiian style or anything like that. I'm sorry to say, but that was probably not a great album, was it?
I have the album. It's actually my oldest album that's in the shrink wrap, and I really enjoyed that one. But one thing that I will say is that my top 3 favorite movies have got to be King Creole, Elvis on Tour, and then Live a Little, Love a Little. And Live a Little, Love a Little is very underranked because it's just got a good plot. It's funny, and it's crazy because Elvis's Great Dane Brutus actually played Albert in the movie. And it wasn't like just some random dog. It was actually his own dog. And there's actually pictures of Lisa Marie laying next to him. And I just thought that was kind of cool because every time I watch it, I'm like, that's Elvis's actual dog. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That was you're talking about Love a Little. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even say it. Yeah. The It's a Dog's Life sequence in Paradise Hawaiian style.
Yeah.
I think some of those dogs in the helicopter belong to Elvis, I think.
And the collie, I think.
The collie. Yeah, the collie.
Because I have seen some pictures where that same looking collie was in there, and I'm kind of starting to speculate if it's the same dog. Because I like the helicopter scene because he goes flying down and he's just trying to control it, and then all these guys are just standing there working like on the pineapple plant, and then they just like jump off the truck and he's going down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think unless there's any other questions, we can let Jake go, because he's been great. A couple of comments coming in here for you, Jake.
Thank you very much. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm just an Elvis fan.
Yeah. Oh, we can tell that. We can tell that. Okay. That's we can move on now to the quiz. You can't enter, Jake. Oh no, I suppose you can. Yeah, I suppose you can. It'd be remiss of me not to let you partake when you kindly joined us. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll speak to you again.
Thank you, Steve. An honor to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay, that was Jake Baliff from Everything Elvis. And as I promised, we're going to do the quiz now. 3 questions. Try not to Google them. All right, just try and use your knowledge and so forth. And I'll just put up a few more for Jake. Okay. Now, the first question I'm going to put up for you, and it is: when did Graceland become a National Historic Landmark? I want the month and year, okay? And you have got 5 minutes on that, okay? So when did Graceland become a National Historic Landmark, month and year? If anybody would like to. No. Danny says 1988. Arkansas Dave says 1994. I have the answers here. Somebody says March 1983. No. 1980 August. Okay, I'm looking, and somebody has got that right. We have a couple of people actually. Jake, I'm going to see if I can find that pic in the yellow outfit and send it to you. It's from the right side, kind of back right shoulder. Yeah, I think I know the one you mean, Marcia. I've seen that, and I think it's a Photoshop. Okay. So when did Graceland become a National Historic Landmark? And I want the month and the year. There's a few coming through now which are wrong, unfortunately. EP1, August 1997. No, that's not right. Daniel Heath says March 2006. Rob says March 2006. Doug, Marie's the name. Sandro, June the 7th, 1982. No, I think that was when it was opened to the public. Jackie Rickard says March 2006. Joseph Drinkard says March 26th, 2006. Jake says Mary Patricia on the show. She is an Elvis fan and not too much older than me. She is cool. Yeah, I mean, by all means, if she wants to send me an email, no problem whatsoever. I will just put that up. Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. If she wants to contact me, no problem. So I'll go to question 1. When did the Graceland become a National Historic Landmark? Okay. 20,006, Glenda. That's in the future. Okay. Vincenzo says March 2006. If Jake says March 2006, he's got to be right. Okay. Mark says he doesn't remember. I like it. I like it. Okay. Don't forget, it's 3-2 to the ladies, so it can either go 4-2 tonight or it can go 3-3. Okay. Kelly says March 27th, 2006. Okay. All right. We had 5 minutes on this question. I didn't actually look at the time, but you're very welcome, Jake. Thanks very much. Yeah, it is fun. It's fun to have you on, and we really enjoyed seeing all that stuff and the the rare stuff and the albums and all that sort of thing. Okay. Right. Okay. 1982. No, not 1982. Sorry to say, MM. So a final shout for when did Graceland become a National Historic Landmark, month and year? It's looking like okay. You're asking what the email address is. I'll throw that up again for you, if I can find it. Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel at gmail.com. Anybody wants to contact me at all about anything Elvis or anything to do with this channel, by all means, you can do that. Okay, so back to when was Graceland became a National Historic Landmark? Leanne Penrod says March 2006. Kevin says March 1985. Pardon me. That's the water. Excuse me. No, Joseph, it was actually after he passed. So there's a clue. Okay, so that's question 1 dealt with. We'll have to remove that now. And question 2. People did get question 1 right. There was a few wrong and there was a few right. So question 2. Where was Elvis's first live Las Vegas performance? Okay, and your 5 minutes starts now. Who is going to get question 1 and question 2 right? No, Doug. Don't forget your super chats. If you want to send me a super chat by clicking on the $ and it just, well, first of all, it helps the channel out, and secondly, it makes your comments stay on the screen longer. Okay. With Liberace at the Stardust? No. 31st July 1969? No, that's not right. Mark says in Las Vegas, of course. Flamingo? We've got a few more minutes on this. Where was Elvis's first live Las Vegas performance? Okay, there's a few coming in which are right. And there's a few. EP1 says on stage. Yes. On a stage. Yeah, correct. It was on a stage. Yeah. Don't forget, guys, I actually said at the top of the program that I'm just putting down a few people that are actually getting it right. Arkansas Dave says the Hilton. No, not the Hilton. Yeah, as I said at the start or the top of the show, there is now, if you want to check it out, Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel merchandise. I've got some shirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, and also there's a mug to replace this one. Okay. Eat, drink, sleep, Elvis. There's actually an official Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel mug now. So if you want to support the channel and you want to kit yourself out as well, by all means. Okay, Jake says New Frontier, 1956. Arkansas Dave, 1969. Says the New Frontier is no longer there in Vegas. It was obviously knocked down, was it? Or fell down or something? Okay, we've got about a minute left on this. Mark says he has a question for me. If I see the question, of course I'll answer it. Yes. Rob, no, you can't order from me. You have to order through the channel because it's done by a company called Teespring, and I have absolutely nothing to do with it. So you can order through the channel. Merry Christmas, everybody. Same to you, Jake. Okay, right. So, question 2 is coming to an end. I think we're up to our 5 minutes now. Arkansas Dave says 1956. Yeah, it was 1956. It was, yeah. Okay. Okay, Mark is saying, what is the reason the album Elvis recorded live on stage in Memphis, June 74? Yeah, it was recorded in March, wasn't it? Has a picture of Graceland on the cover instead of a picture of Elvis. I suppose they wanted to try and keep the Memphis theme of it all, I suppose. But again, it doesn't actually make sense. That would have been the prime time to use a picture of him live on stage on that cover. So yeah, kind of strange. All right. So question 2 is over, and we're going to move on to question 3. If I can find it. Okay, and it's which jumpsuit did Elvis wear for the New Year's Eve concert in Pittsburgh, December 31st, 1976? And you've got 5 minutes on that. Yeah, Ruth is saying maybe they didn't have a pick ready, so they wanted to release it quickly. Hiya, Don. How are you doing? Got something on my glasses. I couldn't see that. I couldn't see the comments. Sparbara, the Austrian alpine suit. Okay. Which jumpsuit did Elvis wear for the New Year's Eve concert in Pittsburgh, December 1976? Hi, Don. It's cold in Memphis, is it? I always associate Memphis with being hot. It was roasting when I was there. Okay. Got a few right answers, a few-ish answers. Jackie Rickard says black and white Phoenix. Jake, Vincenzo says white suit with black Phoenix. Arkansas Dave says black Phoenix. Dave, you coming on the show to tell us that story? Dave has a very interesting story to tell us. Phoenix black and white. Okay, we have about another 2 minutes on this question. Don't forget the super chats. JC22 says Black Phoenix. We have 3 questions that are right, or should I say one person, or at least one person that has all 3 questions right. I'm really impressed. Every week I'm really impressed how much people know about Elvis and how interested they are in Elvis. Okay, so I'm going to give it one more minute. I don't think. Yeah, Joseph is saying I didn't know that Elvis named his suits. I think most of the names from the suits came from the fans. Believe it or not, to him they were just a design, and then the fans said, "I saw Elvis last night and he was wearing a peacock suit," or "I saw Elvis last night and he was wearing the American Eagle suit." Yeah, Ruth says the fans named them. Yeah, I thought it was the fans. Okay. I think I'm coming up to the last minute. In fact, it's gone actually. Yeah, 5 minutes is gone. So I can actually close that off. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my channel. It helps. For every person that for every new person that sees this channel and sees my videos and listens to my podcasts and things like that, it's another fan we can make, and somebody else that can keep Elvis's name alive. I was looking on the television schedules for Christmas, and for if you're in the UK, you've got a treat coming around about Christmas. I think December the 21st, and also Christmas Eve as well on BBC4. There's quite a few. There's an Elvis night actually on BBC4, and also Sky Arts as well. If you've got Sky in the UK or Ireland, You can watch Elvis on Sky Arts. I don't think it includes anything in the US. But Jake, I'll be back to you before we sign off tonight, just to say goodbye. So don't go anywhere, okay? So I'm going to pick a winner, and the way I do it is I just kind of get the winner by just I jot down the names of the people that have got it right, and then I pick it at random. And is it going to be a man or is it going to be a woman? Because if it's a woman, it'll be 4-2, and if it's a man, it'll be 3-3. So the tension builds as I close my eyes and I pick. Okay. The winner this week of the Elvis Fan of the Week is Jackie Rickard. Okay. So that makes it 4-2. 4 to the ladies and 2 to the boys. So, Jackie, if you're still watching, you are the winner. Okay. Yeah, Jake says, good job, Jackie. I suppose I really ought to run through the correct answers as well. I almost forgot to do that one week. It doesn't really make sense just to ask you 3 questions and not tell you what the answers were. Yeah, right. Okay. So when did Graceland become a National Historic Landmark? It was March 2006. Okay. To be precise, March the 27th, 2006. A lot of you got that right. A lot of you got it right. Among them was I actually made a note of the people that got it right, or got it close anyway. Question 1, question 2. Okay, question 2. Where was Elvis's first Las Vegas live performance? And it was the New Frontier Hotel in April 1956. Wasn't a great success, unfortunately, because it was probably too early. It wasn't the type of audience that Elvis was used to. The senior sort of side of the audience weren't sure what to make of Elvis. Yeah, Jackie is saying, what is my prize? Yeah, that's another thing. That's another job I've got to do, is I've got to think of a prize to give out to the competition winners, because it's nice to think that everybody plays along, but they just go away empty-handed. So I've got to have to think of what I can give away for being Elvis Fan of the Week. So where was Elvis's first Las Vegas live performance? New Frontier Hotel in April 1956. What suit did Elvis wear at the New Year's Eve concert in Pittsburgh? A lot of people got this right as well, and he looked fantastic that night as well. I was actually watching it on the YouTube there a couple of days ago, the final countdown, and it was the Black Phoenix. Okay, so congratulations to Jackie. All right. I've got a couple of names here. I've got JC22. You were right. Danny Hingley, you got it right. Jackie, of course. Kelly Haggart, you were in the running. But as I say, Rob Jones, you got some right as well. But as I say, my pen selected Jackie. Okay. So let's just kind of wrap it all up again by going back to Jake for a few final words.
Hi.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Steve? I've just been sitting backstage, I guess.
Yeah, I must admit you did get all three answers correct. No surprise there.
Yeah, I love the New Year's Eve show from '76. I think it was one of
Yeah.
his best shows from that kind of time period from '76, '77. I like how he did Big Boss Man too.
Yeah, well, I was watching it, the final countdown on YouTube, and he was very, very engaged, wasn't he? And he just put his heart and soul into it. And
Yeah,
it was a longer concert than normal
yeah, it was like
too.
an hour and a half because he did that usually when like his tours ended in the '70s. He'd do about an hour and a half instead of an hour because he could stay on longer. He'd just go back to the hotel and then go home. You know what I mean? But like for example, I heard from a story from Joe Smith that on New Year's Eve, December of '75, in Pontiac, Michigan, the Lisa Marie, there was snow on the wings and there was ice, and the Lisa Marie was turned off. So when Elvis got in there, it was freezing cold and everybody was, really cold. And Elvis says, "Why can't we just take off? We're going to leave." And they had to sit there for about like an hour and a half until they could get the plane running. And he goes, "Hey, if we crash, there'll be a lot of heat."
Yeah, that's Elvis. That's Elvis. Yeah. And what about the first performance at Las Vegas? You've obviously heard that because it was on the box set. Elvis,
1985. Yeah.
Elvis Aaron Presley. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the audience were polite, but you could
Yeah.
tell it wasn't going down well.
Yeah,
You know.
because at that time, he was still really controversial. But then when he came back to Vegas, like if you watch That's the Way It Is, there's like this old lady talking about it. Because I truly believe, like when Elvis went to the army, a lot of people respected him. And then when Elvis released his first gospel LP in 1960, I feel like people started to think, that he's actually. And if you think about it, he likes singing rock songs too. But like when Priscilla said that. Because Elvis like brought her a test demo of his new song in about 1962, and she goes, "Why don't you sing more rock songs?" And Elvis goes, "Well, I kind of like singing different songs," and it's kind of true. He almost likes singing more ballad songs and more gospel songs, more slow songs than almost rock and roll songs.
There's a question there for you. Are your friends Elvis fans, Jake?
Yeah, that's all my friends. I don't have any other friend. If I had a friend that was an Elvis fan, they wouldn't be my friend. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. I always say when I find out that somebody is an Elvis fan, I like them more immediately. They
Yeah,
go up in my estimation straight away.
yeah, like when I see somebody that's an Elvis fan, I talk to them for like hours. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like I get in the and then I'm like, where'd the time go? You know what I mean? Because you get carried away because it takes a whole lifetime to explain Elvis. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think you either get Elvis or you don't. There's no in between.
Yeah, and it's like people always go like at school. They ask, "Well, why do you like Elvis?" And I say, "Well, I feel like it." And I told them, I said, if you actually watched him, you wouldn't be asking me that question. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Um. Let's have a look here. What's this? This isn't showing. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Rob says we're all friends on here. You're right. You're right, Rob. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Elvis fans are the best. They really are.
have a Marlowe's party.
Yeah, brilliant. What a great idea. Okay, Jake, I'm going to let you go. I'm sure everybody found it absolutely fascinating because I did. And I'm going to ask you again. I really love you to come back again in a few weeks, maybe in the new year, and we can talk Elvis again.
Yeah,
Because
we talked about the New Year's Eve shows.
yeah, we could all wear the Black Phoenix
Yeah,
jumpsuit.
it was.
Okay.
Thank you. It was fun to be here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Jake, and take
Thank
care
you,
till I
Steve.
talk again. All right.
Okay,
Cheers,
CCB.
buddy. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, I think you'll all agree. Jake is one heck of an Elvis fan. Okay, so folks, I hope you enjoyed this evening. I really did. I really enjoyed it. As I always say, you out there watching this and answering the questions and leaving comments are, the reason why this channel is here. Without you, I'd just be sitting here talking to myself, and that wouldn't be anywhere near as much fun. As I said before, I know I keep banging on about it, but don't forget, do check out the merchandise. like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and share this as well, and tell any other Elvis fans that you know about this channel, because the more we get, the more people we get, the more followers we get, and the more YouTube will push out the videos for more people to see, and more fans, hopefully. So until we meet again, hopefully next Sunday, take care of yourselves, and TCB.